I just got home from such an amazing performance given by my friend Chaya Lester of Jerusalem Shalev Center. And Chaya is just, I was just blown away. She's phenomenally gifted, and it was just incredibly entertaining, and also very like, well, basically I should tell you what it is. So basically what she does, she has a performance called Babel's Daughter about her journey from growing up in like a conservative Jewish home in Memphis, Tennessee, to her life nowadays as a religious Jew, as an Orthodox Jew, living in Jerusalem in my neighborhood Nachlot. It's very funny, and it's very introspective, and she includes poetry, and it was just phenomenal. So and I highly recommend any of you, if this show by Chaya Lester comes to your community, or if you live in Israel and you can come to see a performance at the Shalev Center, I encourage you to Google the Shalev Center, and learn more about it. It was really an amazing experience to see her, and also, but something really, I think, sort of unique about the show is that she has something called mirror moments when we're supposed to like look inward. So she talks about her story, and then she sort of like asks us to think about our story and what we've been through and about our own personal journey. So the first question she asks in the show, so she talks about her childhood shul in Memphis, Tennessee, and she asks us to remember our childhood shul. So I thought back to my childhood shul in Baltimore, Maryland, which is called Beth Am. It still is the Beth Am Synagogue, which is a conservative synagogue. So I was thinking back, okay, and she says without thinking, right? What are your first associations with your childhood synagogue? So I wrote down, eating the gefilte fish with that jelly stuff. You know, afterwards they have a kiddush with gefilte fish with the jelly stuff. Eating challah bread with that sweet Manischewitz wine, because after the services, the kids would get called up to have this challah bread with sweet wine. The huge stars they had these star chandeliers that were hanging from the ceiling. The carpeted stairs. And the smell of the bathroom. There's a certain sort of antiseptic, whatever, that they used in the bathroom, and I can still sort of smell it, and like that bright pink soap that they had in the bathrooms. So what's interesting about this is that, you know, in my childhood shul, I attended, you know, Sunday school there for several years. I went to like my pre-bat mitzvah classes there, and I went to you know services there, and you know attended prayers and heard the rabbi speaking. But what's weird is that, you know, in that shul, I heard thousands and thousands and thousands of words. And what do I remember about the shul? What do I remember? I remember the gefilte fish with that like jelly stuff on it. That's what I remember. So, which got me thinking. You know, right now, you know, we're a week away from Passover, which is why I actually didn't think I was gonna. I thought I'd be too busy to make a pep talk this week, which is why right now I sat and it's 11:16 at night. Maybe you notice the lighting's a little bit different. I don't think I've ever made a pep talk past noon, but I guess it's Erev Pesach, so whatever. You might notice the lighting's a little bit different. So this is why. But I want to sit down, like, give you some inspirational thoughts for Passover. So basically, I was thinking about Passover, my childhood Passover, and what I remember. So we would go every year. We would go to my grandmother, Florence Zichrona Levacha. We would go to her apartment on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And what do I remember? So I remember when we would arrive from Baltimore at my grandmother's house, that she would give each child a bowl of matzo ball soup, and I still remember like the corral with like the white corral with like the flower pattern around it, and she would put like an ice cube in each bowl of matzo ball soup to cool it down for us. I remember the mushy macaroons. Like, is there anything yummier than that? Those Manischewitz coconut macaroons. Yum, yum, yum. And I remember the parsley in the salt water. which I think is probably like the oldest taste that I remember like in my life. Like every year when I taste it, it feels like a primordial taste, like back before, like farther back than I can remember anything. Is remembering that taste of the parsley in the salt water, which again is interesting. So I remember foods, and I remember the pattern of the Corel bowl that I ate out of. And at the Seder, I heard thousands and thousands and thousands of words, and words, and more words. And what do I remember? I remember that. I remember the bowl of matzo ball soup with the ice cube in it. That's what I remember. So I'm talking about all this because I think that we have a tendency to, a little bit, all of us Jewish moms, like we're working really hard now getting ready for Passover. We're cleaning our homes and working hours and hours and hours on the physical aspects of the Seder. Like we're cleaning out this and cleaning out this, and cleaning out our living rooms and soon our kitchens, and getting ordering the food and going shopping and cooking the food and getting the kids dresses and setting the table, and like we're all working so hard working on creating the physical aspects of the Seder. And I think that sometimes we might think, we might think, well, what I'm doing is less important than the words that will be said at the Seder. But I don't mean to put down the words. The content of the Seder, of course, is extremely, extremely important. But I think that we need to remember that what we're doing by making, by creating, the food and the house and the table and the kids' dresses and everything, by creating the physical trappings of the Seder, that we are doing something. I believe. Just like we are creating our children's memories. We are creating something of tremendous spiritual significance, and also meaning for ourselves and for all who attend our seders and our children's experience of the seders. So I want to bless all of you Jewish moms with an amazing Pesach Chag Sameach.